So I guess we've started this talk, this beautiful cosmological convergence and summoning. I've got some, a little tiny bit of sage here, which was grown on my father's land in the east coast of Aotearoa in Gisborne. And I'd love to share this with you all and um, to light it with my owl lighter, my custodian, my kaitiaki, my great grandmother, Te Ruru, who has her powers of future foretelling and being able to find her way and navigate through my dream space and through my creativity, and evoking my journey and my relationships. I offer today's global connecting and convergence of our waters, of the soil, of the grass, of the footprints that have been left and made before us, and the ones that we are to make through our dance, through our rituals, and just through our presence. I think this is such a powerful time to be present on this planet, and for Papa Tuanuku in my language, the Earth Mother, and Ranginui, the Sky Father, and all the elements and energies between. From Aotearoa, I sit here on this beautiful, beautiful islands, contained, our virus is contained. We are able to walk and sing and dance and gather at festivals and present our work on stages and have birthdays and celebrations and socialize and love each other. And I'm grateful that I live in a country that can do that right now. And so with those energies, I welcome all of you mana wahine to this space, to the mana wahine that have arrived with you, and to those who are holding space in the non-present ways that they are. Antipua Case had a dental extraction and was unable to come, and other people are on driving from place to place or looking after children or attending to other business. And so, yeah, I just want to offer this space, these words, these blessings to all our mana wahine, to our mothers and our daughters and our sisters and our aunties and our trans aunties and our teachers and ourselves, and to yourselves. So, Mari ora kia tātou, he karakia timata I tēnei hui, um, ko rangi, ko papa ka puta korongo, ko tāne mahuta, ko tangaroa, ko tumatauenga, ko hami e tiki tiki ko tāwhiri mātea, tokono rā ko rangi ki runga, ko papa ki raro, ka puta tira tangata ki te whao ao marama, ki te ao marama, tihei mauri ora. No reira, kei te mihi anō koutou mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora everyone, welcome to this beautiful convergence, mana wahine stylies happening up in here. And we've got some amazing peoples who I just want to, allow the opportunity to share really what's been going on, what's been happening in your hood, what work you've been doing, and what are you holding up at the moment, and what do you need, and what are the things that we're looking forward to as we resolve things that are happening in the ether. So thank you everybody. I'm going to pass this mental moment on to my friend Fuifuilupe. Kia ora.
Ko te lo atu ki he kainga me he whanuani, ai kainga aloni, ai kainga me hu chen ko nao whanuai ni. Pea te atu hene ai ofa mo e whakatalo atu ki he tau kainga me Moana nui. Ke tau kainga me Aotearoa. Ma'ofa atu. Jack. Ofeina. Dearest beloved. Whakawhitai. Just the deepest gratitude. Whakawhitai ki tau tangaloa. Ito e whakawhitai atu ki a hikoleo. Ko otua ia me lalo. Me whanua I lalo. Ito atu heni ai whakatalo atu pe mo e whakawhitai ki tau kainga me he Moana. Ngahi kui, our great grandmothers, our great grandfathers from our beloved Moana. Jack, beloved Jack, and sisters, acknowledging, firstly, I was just thanking the people of this land that I currently am on. I'm on occupied Lishan Ohlone land, a land now that is now known as Oakland, California. What a great time it is. I'm really humbled. I really mean that. I really made time to be here, Jack, because I have so much love and respect for you. You know, sisters, I also acknowledge and I want to thank the ancestors too that you all come with. I especially want to honor the women ancestors that stand with you, as Jack was offering in his opening. You know, for us as Tongans, as part of the work that I do and the dreams that we have for the next 7 generations, is that I hope that one day that we as Tongans, we can remember the names of our women warriors, our deities that whose names are now criminalized that we can't remember. So at this great time, one of our most, actually our highest God is a female God. Female gods. We honor our great mother, Hine Nui Te Po. We honor our great mother, who the stories in Tonga call her as a legend, as a myth. And in the stories about her, especially after Christianity, her narratives are always represented with rape and sexual violence to normalize it. And that's the work I do, sisters. It was a work, 13 years. I say that because there's so much shame in it. There's so much shame in taking a dissertation and doing a dissertation for 13 years. And that's why I talk about it. Not only for myself, so I hope that I can heal those wounds, but I also do that for the young women and the young men and our trans brothers and sisters, the next 7 generation that come behind. That's why I talk about the wounds, especially how long it takes that it doesn't comply to Western time. But you know, when we speak about non-Western time, you know, Jack, I think about you. I think about different times in the last couple years, the last 5 years, where I really took time off to finish the dissertation, where I would see you in dream time. And for me, you know, as a Tongan who knows that who is grateful always to our ancestors from Moana, Jack, I came here really to say thank you to you. You know, if we were here meeting in real life, I would give you the finest galore from my family. I would give you ngatu. I would give you the best ngatu we have, which is, you know, for those outside of the Pacific, it's tapakla. I would give you the best fala we had, fala our mats, the kie ha'amoa, the best. That would be the best. Those are the finest ones that would be made for several years by so many women's hands. Jack, we would give you the best. We would give you our best black pearl. Because Jack, I mean it when I say this, you have saved my life. I saw you several times during dream time, during the most difficult times. I saw you. And those who are the closest to me, I told them about you. I said, I saw certain things happen because I was going through some difficult times, you know, to write about rape and sexual violence in the research, meant that I had to also confront the rape and sexual violence in my own life. Jack, and during some of the most difficult times, when I couldn't tell those stories, I saw you, and that's why I came. I really wanted to see you personally. I wanted to tell you that, and really, I just want to say, Whakawhitai, the greatest gratitude, the most deepest gratitude. Thank you so much for taking care of me. Thank you for helping me to tell those stories. I thank our great mother, Hine Nui Te Po. I also thank our great mother from Moana Nui, Faletoa, who comes in the body of a black octopus. I also thank the great mother who's two-spirit, who comes in both the body of a man and a woman, Hikuleo, the owner of the underworld. I thank her. I thank her, Jack, for connecting our journeys together here on this sacred land. And thank you so much, Jack, for following your ancestral calling. I know that every single sister here will probably have stories about you and your healing and your work to help save us. So it's really just the greatest humility, Jack, and just with the greatest gratitude. I wanted to come and say thank you so much.
Te po, te po. Te toko toko I whenuku, te toko toko I wherangi, toki atu kia, ko te mumu, ko te awha, ko te mumu, ko te awha, ko te manihi kai ota, takiri pana pana, karo I runga karo, I raro ka whaita more. I runga ka whaita more, I raro tēnā ko te pau, tēnā ko te pau, o runga no rongo mauri ora ka hoa e. I would love to hear from the beautiful Santi Smith, all the way up there in Six Nations territory, eating her dinner. How are you, Santi?
Oh, good. Thank you. It's nice to see everybody and meet some new people. I'm here at Six Nations. This is our home territory. Jack's, you've been to our home, right, Jack? Or did you end up just being in Toronto? I can't remember now.
No, I went there and I saw the pottery
Oh,
and
that's right. That's
we saw
right.
the grand entry and everything that was going on. It was incredible.
Oh, we went to the powwow.
We did go to
Yeah.
the powwow. Loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have getting a bad memory these days. Um, yeah, so what am I doing? It's interesting that we're, calling in all of our grandmothers because on a daily, I'm just thinking about them because I'm doing exactly what they did, which is being creative with this time period. And I'm doing things that I haven't done before, which is sewing. I'm making masks that I enjoy doing, but it's both of my grandmothers on both sides of my family. They survived and looked after their families through their labor of creating crafts. So, and my grandmother revived the lost art of pottery in our community, and she was a seamstress. And it's just sort of like I'm just realizing how I'm just an extension of how they survived. And so it's kind of nice to have that connection, just so right there, so tangible. My performance career isn't on hold. It's been on hold for a year. Everything's been postponed for pretty much a year. So I just emailed Louise Patiki Bryant, who you all might know, because we were supposed to be collaborating, and said, hey, our project is off by a year now. And so we're still going to keep connected, and hopefully by the summer we'll be able to start again. And that was a very interesting work called Homelands for now. And it is, so the Gayangahaga people, my people, are originally from upstate New York. So that's our traditional homeland. And I've been doing a lot of work inside our homelands. And I'm not sure you might feel that as well. If you're displaced from your homelands, like when you go back to your homelands, there's this visceral feeling of like, this is home. This is like I somehow disconnect spiritually and your body connects. And so I've had that experience, and all of my family have that experience when we go back to our homelands. So it's been about 10 years since I've been working in the homelands creatively. But more recently on my triptych series, led by Indigenous women collaborators, we've been making it a point of working as a part of our process just to be in the homelands. And so that this was yet another project of connecting to homeland. So and women in, so I'm just multimedia performance of Women in Water, Women's Voices concert. So all of those big visions and plans that I have are sort of just germinating. And we spoke of time. Time is now I take this sort of quieting and isolating time as a reflection time. And so trying just to look at the positives of what's happening. And so that's kind of where I'm at. If you don't know the work that I do, it's a lot connected to my community. And we just did a multimedia project at our Canada's first residential school, which is in my community, called the Mohawk Institute. And so I've done 3 projects there, 3 productions. And then this last one, we 3D mapped the whole exterior of the building. So it's going to be released by the National Arts Center December, I don't know, right after Christmas, well, like December 24th or something, like 27th. And so that when people saw that, you're doing this work and you're driven because of, my great grandmother attended the school at the age of 2. So, and my grandfather attended the school. So when I do that work, it's like you're invested in connecting to your ancestors, but also making that space a transformation site now for healing and moving through. And so that's been my whole purpose of working there. And a lot of people after that performance, and we could only have 40 people outside because of our COVID protocols. So we had there been no COVID, there would have been like 1,000 people sitting outside watching. But it was ceremony. So, you're for me anyways, as an art director, I'm going through the logistics and, making sure everything is all right. And, you have your mind on so many things, but when people come and experience it, when you lock into the performance of it, it becomes ceremony. So we had survivors in the audience, and they were transformed. I got some really beautiful messages from them, and the impact is almost like indescribable, and hasn't even settled in me yet about the work that we did there. So even though our year has been disrupted, those amazing moments like that are really, really important and fulfilling, and inspiring me to continue to do that work and share it. So that's kind of a little bit of where I'm at. My only young daughter is not home anymore. She's gone up north with her boyfriend, which is like 2-day drive north from where I am. So I'm home with my family. I live with my mom and dad, and they're in a vulnerable stage. So we've been really isolating. Six Nations had some, actually my cousin just got tested positive for COVID. We found out today. So that is around, like COVID is all around us. And I know people now who have it and recovered, and Six Nations had 1 death. So people, people are trying to stay, follow guidelines, but it's really hard when you live in community and extended families. It's been really hard on my mom and dad in particular, because they can't see the little nieces and nephews and things like that. So yeah, it's challenging times, but at the same time, we're also sort of recluse artist types, so we don't mind being alone. And I think just on a personal level, where I'm at is really, I was on tour. We were touring the Mush Hole, which is also about the Mohawk Institute Residential School, and we were coming up to our 39th performance of it. And we were just about to leave to go to Washington, D.C. to do a performance. And we canceled the day before because of COVID. So as of March 11th, and then I was home and isolating, my whole kind of world stopped in a way, because I was almost to the point of exhaustion. And I think had I been kept going, I would have reached exhaustion. So I was so unmotivated for about 3 months. I couldn't really do anything. But then I also take that as a positive as well, that I needed to slow down, and that sort of rat race that everybody is doing of producing, doing this, doing that, multitasking, is not healthy. And so I'm really embracing and letting go of the pressure of, whether that it's like putting pressure on your own self to keep producing, and I got to do this, I got to make this happen, this opportunity, this, and then just saying, hey, I don't need to do that. And I'm cool with it. So I'm actually reaching that point of what's like, well, that's how it goes. I'm not going to be worried about that anymore. I'm like, oh, I missed that deadline. Okay, my world's not going to fall apart, and I can keep going. And yeah, so that's all I'll say for now. And Yawa Jack for bringing us together, and your beautiful words, both of you. And yeah.
Hey, Santa, you know what? I was going to respond, and then I just remembered that you're an amazing singer.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm okay. My daughter is an amazing singer, and we sing well as a duo.
You do. Do you feel like sharing a little song with us at all?
Sure. I'll sing a song, because we're talking about Mana Wāhine. This song we co-wrote, my daughter and I, and I think we even wrote it in Aotearoa. I think we composed it there. And we were thinking about the women's work that we were doing, and we were thinking about murdered and missing Indigenous women. And it was sort of like an honor song for them. And so I think that's the origin of that one. So I'll sing it. I'm getting nervous now. My heart is going. Okay. Wāhine, yo Wāhine, yo Wāhine, yo Wāhine, yo Wāhine, yo Wāhine, yo Wāhine.
Kia ora. I'm going to now pass the virtual mic to Sam A D Zon. Sam A D Zon. Yeah, Sam A D Zon. Yeah, Sam A D Zon. Oh. Over to you, Sam A.
Oh my goodness. So much love in this circle. I'm just like, I'm oozing in it. I'm like, I'm home alone right now. And I'm like, but you all are here with me. And it's such a warm feeling. My name is Sam May, Samantha Peñaflor Dizon. I'm the daughter of Yolanda Peñaflor Dizon and the granddaughter of Salvacion Orencilio Peñaflor and Carolina Agdepa Dizon. My family ranged from Albay, Bicol, my mom's side, which is actually where the largest typhoon of the year has hit. Um, and then my father's side is from Herona Tarlac, and we're Ilocano, Kapampangan, and Bicolano. I was raised on Tongva land. I'm here today on Yalamu, on unceded Ramaytush Ohlone lands. And yeah, I just, wow, everyone. You all like, there's so much that's coming up and coming through. I'm definitely feeling our mountain, our volcano, Mount Mayon. She actually erupted when the typhoon hit. Was it last week or the week before? And she actually doesn't erupt at this time. She usually erupts every 10 years. And that was a conversation that my mother and I were having that really, like, really, I think I felt the weight of it, especially being in the diaspora, especially being here in the Bay Area where, the Filipinx communities has our own, stuff to figure out and move through, just knowing that our volcano really was like sending a message out and had to do it alongside the strongest typhoon of the year in the whole world. It just really like, I think the immensity of it really hit me. And there's actually kind of like background story. There's some quarrying happening at the bottom of the volcano. And the local government, of course, is not, yeah, the local government is actually quite upset that the president put a stop to the quarrying because of all of the damage from the lava flow, and it's complicated because we don't like the president either. But we're grateful for that decision to stop that. And yeah, eruption and disruption, and the fact that revolution will not happen without disruption and eruption. And I'm just really, oh yeah, there were so many threads from what you shared, Santi and Fuifuilupe, because in a similar fashion, I was doing so much when the pandemic hit, getting ready for our company Embodiment Project's world premiere of a new work. And then, of course, we have no idea when that's happening now. And I also went into a really deep cave this past summer. I hit compassion fatigue and a deep depression that I am grateful for, because that's when spirit was like, just gave me a nice slap and kind of rerouted me on my path. And so I'm kind of right now in this present moment, I'm out of that. I think it's it's been an incredible year of many lessons and a lot of healing and a lot of metamorphosis. And one of the really profound, I think, pieces of my healing this year was actually around being more vocal about being a survivor of rape, of sexual violence. So when you shared that earlier, I was just really feeling that medicine. Um, and for me, it happened so that in May, right before my solar return, I went home to LA, to Carson, and I specifically went home with the intention of telling my parents about the about that, which happened in 2011, probably 2011, maybe. Yeah. Um, and so, like, 9 years later, and so there's been, in all of this like soup of life we've been maneuvering, there's been a lot of, I think, mending of my relationship with home, specifically in Tongva land and with my family, and as well as a deepening in my own healing, in my personal healing, and then also ancestrally, and really deepening in my spiritual practice. And ooh, it's such deep work. It's so deep. It's so wow. Like, I'm seeing like a pink streak in the sky. I'm really understanding that, the deeper we dive, is really how the ceiling gets higher and heightens for our elevation and our joy. And so while I feel like I've been in the depths of the depths of the depths this year, I also feel like I've made room and have more capacity to experience joy more fully. And I think that's really what I'm taking into this next year. Um, and yeah, I mean, I could share all about where I was in life when Jack came into my life, but I feel like I've shared that story so many times. But yeah, I think all the gratitude for all the ways in which you arrive at the most divine and most perfect times, including this moment, and for all the ways you continue to weave us into this tapestry of so many colors and so many stories and so many lineages, that I think we often get caught up in these really complicated conversations, and that it's really not that complicated. And so it's really good to ground down with you all and feel that ease and simplicity that actually is the essence of this work, and our being and our honoring of all our grandmothers. And like you said, Santi, yeah, just an extension, just doing what they were doing. And it's wild to me because right now I'm working on a short film, um, that has like so much medicine. I don't even know if I'm ready for it. Like when I watch the edits, I'm speechless. I'm the director, but I'm supposed to give like feedback, but I'm like, what to say, because it's so potent, and it's all this, transmuting of grief, of our sacred grief into the beauty, and into the brighter future that we see, and the practicing of the future that we know is possible. And within that, I'm also working on a collab line, which is so out of my element. I'm not in performance, I'm not dancing, I'm like making medicine with a dear sister who is like such an incredible herbalist and medicine woman. And and it's just so interesting to be in this new way of collaborating and sharing story outside of like a dance and movement and performance space. But we're in her lab, and she's putting the herbs together, and we're calling in our grandmothers, and we're calling in our grandmothers who were specifically herbolarios, medicine women when they were alive. And yeah, just giving thanks for the ways in which the big disruption pivoted the exact right things to happen, I think, for me this year.
What are we singing, Sammy?
Oh, I already have it. I wasn't sure if you wanted to sing or Vogue. I wasn't sure. I was like, be ready for anything. The music could come on. So I'm here. I'm here in the Richmond district in San Francisco, which is right by Land's End, which was Yelamu, which was the village of the Ramaytush Ohlone. And so I'm right here at the edge of the earth and the water and the ocean. So a song for our mama ocean, for Yemaya, for the mother of mothers, for the nurturer of nurturers, for the one that connects us all of our lands, all of our peoples. Yemaya sesu asesu Yemaya Yemaya sesu asesu Yemaya Yemaya olodo Yemaya Yemaya olodo Yemaya Yemaya asesu Yemaya Yemaya asesu Yemaya Yemaya olodo Yemaya Yemaya olodo Yemaya Yemaya asesu Yemaya Yemaya asesu Yemaya Yemaya olodo Yemaya olodo Yemaya Asheo.
Ashe. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, my sister. Thank you for your song, your beautiful voice. I'm going to now head to my other beautiful sister, Tony Passion, who we have a running joke about our alter egos, but maybe I'll let Tony introduce herself and her alter ego. Kia ora.
Okay. The alter egos, yes. Well, my sibling of Dela Cruz. It's so funny. We have a story with that on Guahan, where we were working on a project on Guahan. We were sitting in CPK on a rainy day, sitting in CPK on a rainy day having a pizza, and before rehearsal. And we were talking about alter egos, and it was one of those conversations where it was, guess what, everybody? this is something you don't know about me. And then so I said, you know, my alter ego is Savannah de la Cruz. What's yours? And Jack was like, oh my goodness, I am, oh gosh, I can't remember your first name. Jackie de la Cruz. And so that's when we realized that not only are we connected in this dance realm, but our alter egos have also come back together. So we fluctuate and we interweave in our conversations between Tony and Jack and Savannah and Jackie. So it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun. And I love Jack so much in that I can call at Jack's 5 a.m. when it's like my 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something. And and Jack will always pick up. And I really appreciate that. We're laughing right now, but it's true.
I have to say, I always say to her, I just need to make a cup of tea first.
Yes. Yes, so I appreciate it. I love it so much because it can just go in so many different directions. And I take Jack, these days I've taken Jack with me on my morning walks, you know, and, you know, as we're on the phone and talking, you know, just bringing the whole world with us and traveling on another realm.
I was at your work when you were a cashier.
Oh my goodness, yes, yeah. So I've had quite a journey as well this year, as far as, you know, just where life takes us and the people that come into our lives, whether that be for 10 minutes or for many years or for, you know, just for what it is, you know. So yeah, in those times as well, I would be a cashier, that one that's up in the morning when people come in groggy, and on the phone with Jack, just like, I just really need some deep conversation because people just come in and out, you know, and I just really need this conversation. So I just really appreciate Jack for just, you know, we meet on so many levels, and I really appreciate that. So that's a bit about us in a nutshell. The tip of the iceberg. It's much deeper as they are. So as mountains are. So that is me. That's me. My name is Tony Marie Temehana Oteahi Engal de la Paz Franco Borja Pasión. My lineages are from Lawag, Antipolo, and Pampanga in the Philippines, on the island of Luzon in what is now known as the Philippines. I am born on Ohlone territories, San Jose, and raised here on Tongva territories, Los Angeles. I've lived upon different lands, traveled to different lands as well, and connected, you know, just connected with the lands and with the elements on these places through our cultural dances and through ceremonies. And so every time I have the opportunity to say who I am, I like to bring this essence of where I've been and where my spirit has been here in the moment. So thank you for providing the space, and thank you everybody who's spoken so far. I always I like to acknowledge too that the spirit that brings us all together, you know, that moves through us, that works through us, that just happens to bring us all in a place that maybe the mind may not understand at first, but you know, the na'au and the heart, and we know it. And so that's where I've been as far as during this time, is learning and training in different knowledge systems within the body. So I've gone doing the internal work very much as a person that would extend a lot out. This time I've literally been at home. I've been in my home and working within the family. So that's a big one, actually, because I realized within myself, you know, asking myself the questions of why was I extending myself out so much? Um, you know, and so working on the alignment and the flow, clearing up the blockages within the family. And one of the things that's been really potent is being able to articulate mental health and how to be there for one another. Um, and the way that I see mental health, actually, that I've learned to see it and keep seeing it as in alignment with the ancestral work and with performance transformation, with self-care, is the ability to see the invisible. You know, that's what mental health work is to me. And so, yeah, very much working along those lines. I've been learning through a program called NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, which was named way back when when we are in circle, we prefer to say mental challenge. The organization was named a while back when this was the vernacular to say mental illness. And the organization was actually created, sparked by a group of mothers. So speaking Mana Wāhine, you know, I just want to acknowledge that too, and the keen insights that Mana Wāhine have. And yes, so that's something I'd like to say. And that has been quite transformative for me in the way that, you know, when we work on something, it ripples out into everything else. You know, everything is all connected. And the more that we work in aligning ourselves more and more, it just ripples through. And so that's another thing I've been feeling during this time is, yes, I'm at home, but also I've been feeling people, feeling within the networks of, I'm also a part of Halau. I was promoted in Halau as an alakai, so it's taken me 20 years for that. And so I feel very grateful in my journey, in how it's just so unique to me. And I'm realizing I've got to just sit in my voice, and that's that. You know, life will just happen as it happens in the way that works with you and through you and only through you, you know, and we all have that. So that's along the lines that I've been in. And so with that, you know, just being around and learning deep Hawaiian language with kauna, to where you have conversations and you have the realization tomorrow morning, you know, or whenever it is. Speaking of time, right? Fuifui, it's not this linear one. It's like the spiral of it, and so the unfolding of it. And so I honor that too. And those I've been having those conversations with elders and with you know, just the people in my life, where, you know, we have those conversations where you just have to sit with it for a bit. You know, you just have to sit. It's not a passive. It's very much, it's very grounded. And so, yeah, that's where I've been, as far as, you know, during this time, what I've been doing, a lot of internal work, and being there for our community you know, I'm not extending out as much as before. I'm very much like phone call, how are you doing? And so I've been committing to making those personal phone calls regularly, you know, and just being there for our people in that way. I feel like the healing that I've learned, that is accessible for all of us can be to listen to one another and to accept one another exactly as they are in that moment. You know, there's a lot of healing in just that, in that moment of, hey, yeah, I've got these shadows, I've got this light, and right now this is where I'm at in this abyss. And for somebody to just be like, it's all right. I hear you. You know, there's something there. And so in transparency, yeah, absolutely. I've been in some levels of darkness I didn't even know throughout this time, and learned that there are levels to darkness. There are levels, and you know, when you get to a level of darkness where you absolutely cannot see anything, that's when the glow in the dark animals come out. That's when the stars come out. And so I've been spending a lot of time at night times on the beach with my Kali sticks, Filipino martial arts sticks, and right by the shores. Those have been my clearing places. And so during this time, I've very much been speaking to God, pretty much. And I say God, I mean that in the unifying sense of creator, of energy, of, you know, interconnected threads in the negative space where things are there in the negative space, you know. So that's very much where I've been in a nutshell. And because it's quite layered, you know, and it comes through in many ways. You know, so let's see, what else? I don't know. That's a lot, really. As far as work, I have shifted too, because, you know, here and there I was doing some online performances, which was very interesting, a whole nother set of questions, you know, when you think of choreography and, you know, multiple cameras and these sorts of things. So it blows my mind. But I've been shifting more into healing circles and sharing self-care tools and very much refining teaching and very much grounding the teaching in service, to be on that energy wavelength, because it's energizing. You know, it's energizing, and it's the work that is fulfilling. And that's a big part of where I've been at too, is making my time very intentional. I'm not wasting it. Everywhere I'm at, I choose to be there, and whoever I'm with, I choose to be there. That's where I'm at, you know, and it's taken some time. Hey, sometimes I'm like this, but in the same time, that's where the self-love comes in. And, you know, it's the whole experience of life at the end of the day. So so that's where I am, is this journey of self-love that is in service, and holding the shadow and the light at the same time. That's part of the healing work that I'm a part of as well, under the Filipina goddess of Mayari, who is of the moon, the light and shadow at the same time. The halal that I am of, Mahina o Kapoepoe, who is the goddess of the moon. And so, as you can imagine, all the incredible knowledges that are just coming through, and I can keep going, but, you know, another part two. But I love you all very much. I have so much appreciation to be here with you all in this moment and in this circle. I have a lot of respect for all of you. I've seen, if we haven't met in person, I've seen your names before. Fuifui. I remember in Riverside when Jack brought out the tapa cloth and told us the story. And yeah, I remember that. So yes, thank you very much for this time. Thank you, everybody. Okay, well, let's do the ones that are coming through. I always do this one with you. It's Oli Mahalo. because of course, mahalo and just grounding in gratitude, and then I will follow with a song from Mauna Kea. Malana mai ka ume puna me hilo hele mai kona me kohala me hamakua he ka ele o waipio e polao mahiki he ukao ai mea he ava kawai hai he kupe no kawaa o poliahu he palamauna wa kea iluna Pa'akua hivi keli I ka wa'a o hohia I ka hanana kue ie. Uholai ka makaloala. Huai ke aloha la kuka ia ka aloha la hawehi mai na lehua mai ka ho'oku ia ka halawa ia mahalo e nā kua Mahalo e nā kunalania. Mahalo me ke aloha la. Mahalo me ke aloha la.
Mahalo. Ngā mihi nui e te whānau, te ao hurihuri. Thank you, my family of people from this turning earth. Thank you for your time this day, this night. Acknowledgements to each and every single one of you for the beautiful work of being incredible women. Thank you so much for your sharing today, for your generous gifts, for your insights, for your deepest reflections and your heartfelt joy. I am so thankful for this conversation. I'm so honored to have a space where we can connect in this way, and I feel the ripples will continue. I feel these stories will go out in a really pertinent, powerful, and potent manner, because it is from each and every single one of you, and from your lands, your waters, your peoples, and yourselves. Me noi tātou. Unuhia, unuhia. Unuhia ki te uru tapanui, kia wātea, kia māma, te ngākau, te tinana, te wairua ki te ara tangata. Koiara e rongo, whakariake ki runga kia tīna, haumi e, hui e, tai ki e.